Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another Breakfast with Blaha. And hopefully I can get in my zone here. I haven't done one of these in a couple of weeks. I have literally not sat down in front of a camera for 2 weeks. So I got to get used to doing this again. Sometimes that happens. And people seem to be unaware with these breakfast chats. They don't realize I sometimes film 3 of these every day for 2 weeks straight. And then maybe only do a couple through the next week and then not do any or whatever. But today I'm having fat-free Greek yogurt, almond butter, and milled flax seeds. Let's talk about Pendlay rows. Someone asked me in the comments, they said, didn't you say before that on Pendlay rows you would rather see people work on bar speed and volume instead of trying to add weight all the time? And here's the problem with that statement. That's contextual. What I mean is, because you see lifters who have no work capacity, no explosiveness, who just try to do Pendlay rows and keep adding weight and just cheat the weight up, they should be working on the other things. Right? They should be working on those things, right? Because it's an explosive exercise. It's intended to be. Plus, they could use the upper back work capacity. However, when I make that statement, I'm talking about novices. And it's in the context that hopefully they're doing something else for their back besides just Pendlay rows, right? Meaning I'd like them to try to progress on it. Sure, I'd like them to try to progress, but if form starts degrading and they're cheating the weight up, we would count that as misses. So let's say you're doing a novice program and you start cheating the reps. What do you do when you miss a lift, when you cannot complete the reps? Then you reduce the weight and reset. That's what you would do here. So when form breaks down. If you're trying to do 3 by 10 and you're having to cheat on the last 4 reps, you failed. You reached failure. That's what happened. You achieved failure on rep 6 or 7. Means you can't do 10. You do a weight reset. It's not how we program as we get more advanced, right? If you're novices, listen to that other advice. Advanced lifters, we can only handle so much volume. I mean, realistically, yes, you guys have seen me do phases where I do a lot more volume. I'm going to be honest. You guys who do not do lots of conditioning, if you are drug-free, you don't use steroids, and you are not in really good shape, like one of those two, and by in shape I mean you do daily conditioning work. You have good work capacity, recovery. You can't handle that much training volume, particularly with relatively heavy weights. Your volume is going to have to be reeled in. Otherwise, you're not making gains off it. It's just junk volume. So, in that context, that's not going to work, is it? Also, let's come back over. We need progressive overload. If you aren't progressing on a lift, you need to get rid of it. So, what's the real answer for more advanced lifters? You progress on it. Now, people say, but you can't progress on it forever. It stalls. Yeah, so does every other exercise. You can't keep adding weight to the bar without form breaking down. You've stalled. Okay. Well, what do we do on conjugate when we stall on a supplemental lift? What do we do? What's the answer? You get rid of it. There's no point in doing an exercise you're not progressing on for hypertrophy because you're not growing from it. What are you going to do? Stand there for 6 weeks and do the exact same reps, weight, and sets? How much muscle do you think you're gaining? 0. Nothing. I don't care how hard you squeeze. I don't care what your mind-muscle connection is. In the absence of anabolics, muscles do not grow without progressive overload at all. They don't. They will in the presence of upping the dose, bro, but guess what? You know what works even better than upping the dose, bro? It's to progressively overload with it. That works even better. So if you're not progressing on a lift, you need to get rid of it. You replace it with something else. People think, would that mean I can't do the Pendlay row year round? Yes, that's what that means. I mean, you could. You're going to get overuse problems. You're going to gain slower, and you're going to have more inflammation. You need to change it. Does it mean you can't change to a different type of Pendlay row? No, it's fine. But if you've been doing shoulder width, you can go to snatch grip. Progress on snatch grip as long as you can. When that stops, you change it to something else. Maybe you have a different bar. Hopefully you guys have access to more than one bar. You got a home gym and you don't have 3 different bars. I don't know what you're doing. They're not that expensive. You don't have to buy a Kabuki Strength multi-grit bar and Cadillac bar for $500 to $700 each. There are really good cheap bars. Okay. There are plenty of multi-grit bars. I have 3 different ones. They all cost less than $200, all of them. You'll have a couple different bars. You can't go find a cambered bar. You can't go on Amazon and for $200 get a cambered bench bar. You can't, really? Can't get an axle bar for $90. But you have a home gym. You need to get your priorities straight. Come on, guys. Change barbells. Change to a different lift. Do a bent over row. Do a cheat row. Change it for something else if it stalls. How about you add bands or chains to it? Guys over here, I got a home gym but no chains. You can afford a barbell but you can't afford chains? Like, which one do you think costs more? A good power bar costs more than 100 pounds of chains does. It costs more. Put some chains on the bar. Change the exercise. If you're not able to progress, you need to rotate the lift for a variation. And I just gave you a hell of a lot of choices. All right, gave you a lot of choices. I think we could make the argument that if you have access to enough lower body and posterior chain equipment, you may not even have the recovery to be doing rows standing. You need to be looking at chest supported stuff anyways. At a certain threshold, maybe change it for some of those. The point is, if you're not progressing, you rotate the lift. That other advice is for novice lifters because they will cheat the weight up. They will do sloppy piss poor form, and that's not how we perform the Pendlay. That's not the purpose of that lift. But the Pendlay row is not the only type of row that we could be doing. Yes, it's the original traditional barbell row. You guys have seen me do 20 different types of rows on this channel, at least. Because here's the thing, all rows are good. I've never seen a row that isn't a good exercise. They have a different focus. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.